Welcome, everybody. We're back. It's Christine Parakis and the Career Invincibility Radio Show. I am super excited to bring you this stellar guest that we have with us today. Diane Forster is an award-winning coach, an award-winning inventor, a best-selling author, TV host, podcaster of I Have Today. She's a transformation coach for women in transition or who want to transition in their lives personally and professionally. And who among us isn't in transition of some kind? She's received the Global Excellence Award for Life Coach of the Year in California, is an executive contributor for BRAINZ Magazine, and a regular guest and co-host on The Edge Radio in Los Angeles. Her mission is to see that 1 billion people who don't know their self-worth discover their true divinity, power, and purpose. She's a mom of twins, loves the beach, and is addicted to mindset and manifestation. And I'll have to tell you, the reason why I was super excited to have Diane with us today is because I've seen her personally doing the work, which means she's constantly studying as being a student of her own evolution. So welcome, Diane. We're so happy to have you here.
Hi, Christine. Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here with you.
Well, me too. And so let's just dive right in. And, you know, we love to talk about the zigs and zags that people have encountered in their lives. And you getting to I Have Today, I'm sure, is a great story. So please give us some of the highlights.
Sure, I'm happy to. Well, my background was in corporate. I worked in the advertising and television industry for 32 years, and it was a great career for me. I lived in LA and worked in the ad business, and then moved to Chicago to get married and switched to TV sales. And I spent my last 20 years at ABC. And while I was working at ABC, raising my twins, I came up with this idea for a kitchen product. And it was a frustration in the kitchen one day, but it set me down this path. And I decided to create this product. And I didn't know what I was doing. I just put one foot in front of the other. And it ended up landing me on QVC. I won an innovation award. And so I had all of this incredible success with it. And it really opened my eyes to entrepreneurship, which was something that I never even considered. And then the creation of I Have Today was my personal journey. And I stayed in a marriage for 20 years that was very unhappy and unfulfilling. And it was a secret that I kept hidden to the outside world. No one knew it was going on. And slowly but surely, it just kept chipping away at me and my soul and my spirit, year after year. And I hit a breaking point in 2011. And I attempted suicide. And as I stood in the bathroom that night with the pills in my hand, just ready to end it all and, saying I just can't take this pain and loneliness anymore, I experienced a God moment. And it felt like something or someone karate chopped my arm, and those pills fell to the floor, and a voice screamed in my ear, "You are not ending your life this way, Diane. You need to go get help so that you can tell your story and you can help others." And I just threw my hands in the air and I said, "Well, you need to show me the way." And so I reached out for help the very next day and said, I need help. I am changing my life. And it set me down this path of truly healing and honestly, Christine, falling in love with myself and owning the condition of my life. And I just made a declaration that I wanted to have an extraordinary life, and I was going to do everything I can to get it. And so I immersed myself in personal development and self-help, and, spiritual awakening started happening. And I started creating like crazy, writing like crazy, and just would write these poems and these stories. And I woke up one day with a poem in my head called I Have Today. And when I finished writing it, among the many other things that I had written, I looked down at it and I said, this is way more than a poem. This is what God was talking about in the bathroom that night. I am supposed to help others who don't know their self-worth discover their true divinity, power, and purpose. Because if I was living this way, how many other millions of people are living like this? And so that was the day that the idea was born, and that was the day of the poem was in 2013. Fast forward 2 years later, in 2015, my twins graduated high school, and I made a bold decision, and I decided to walk away from everything in my life in Chicago. I sold my house and everything in it and quit my job and moved from Chicago to San Diego, and I founded I Have Today, and I wrote my book and got certified as a coach and started coaching women, started speaking. I started the TV show and the podcast, and it's just been this extraordinary evolution of so much magic showing up into my life because I'm living what I really came here to do. And I believe that every other moment that led me to that breaking moment was the universe trying to get me to where I am today. And so now I use my life to help other women reinvent their lives and transition what's not working in their lives so that they can live to their highest, greatest, truest potential.
Wow, that is so powerful, Diane. And I thank God that you listened to that voice inside you and didn't take that action. And I'm sure there are so many people that you encounter that are listening today that have these secret moments that they don't have the courage to share. They're afraid to share. They have the shame around it. And why do you think there's so much unhappiness and depression? It's an epidemic these days.
Yes, it certainly is. And even now, more so than ever. I mean, the rates of suicide and depression have doubled. And it's what I believe is that we are disconnected from who we really are, how powerful we are, how worthy we are. And all of that stems from limiting beliefs, programming that got anchored in us as young children that we've literally been carrying around all of our lives. And from a scientific perspective, 95% of what we do in our day-to-day lives is from the operating system that's going on in the subconscious mind. We're not even consciously aware of it. The habits, the patterns, the emotions, the memories, the things that are trapped in there. So what I like to compare it to is imagine your cell phone or your computer. Imagine it being the same exact age that you are. It's never had a software update. It's running on old programming. There's viruses in there that need to be cleaned out. It would only be able to operate, do a few functions, and it would operate so slowly. And it'd have all these glitches and things happening to it. Well, that's happening with us. So we're operating on old programming. And what we need to do is get in there and clean out what I call the dandelions so that we can open up the bed of roses that's waiting for us. And so we're just running on the same thoughts, the same memories, the same patterns day after day after day. And it's debilitating. It is. And 70% of the thoughts that we have a day are negative thoughts, and we have 70,000 a day. So it's so much easier for us to draw upon those files, what I call it, the data, the files of the negative things, because there's so many there. And so, again, it becomes important for us to, number one, create the awareness. I call it the ABCs. Awareness begets change. Once you're aware of what's going on, then you can begin to take the steps to make the changes to turn that around.
So you have somehow managed to systematize this in a way, haven't you? And there's a process that you have that helps us to do that for ourselves. Can you talk about that a bit?
I can. It's a 3-step process. I call it love it, thank it, bring it. And love it stands for love your life. No matter what's ever happened to you in your entire life, it's all been there for you. It's created value. It's been a gift. Even the pain, especially the pain, has taught us so much about clarity, about what we do want, versus what we don't want. And we are a miracle. There's a 400 trillion to 1 odd of us being born. We're miracles. And so love your life because you have a life to love. And 153,000 people did not wake up today. we did. So embrace that. Embrace your life, no matter what, because you have a life to love. Thank It is about living in gratitude and appreciation for where you are right now today. Be grateful. Be grateful for the bed you get to sleep in, the cup of coffee you get to have, the hot shower you get to take, the car you get to drive, every single thing, big and small, because appreciation appreciates. When you live in gratitude and appreciation for where you are right now, the universe will bring you more and more things to be grateful for. So, and then Bring It is the power piece. That's about your future. So Love It is about loving your life, the past. Thank It is about living in the present moment, being grateful for today. And Bring It is about how are you going to show up today? How are you going to bring it to design this day and your future going forward? How are you showing up in your relationships, with your health, with your money, in your career, with your parenting, in every area of your life? How are you bringing it? Because you are the one who's creating your life. It's not outside of you. You're the one who gets to design it and intend it to be anything that you want. So having that anchor of love it, thank it, bring it. I say that to myself all day long. How am I? It allows me to be intentional, aligned, and empowered in my life, knowing that I am the one who's in control.
Wow, I'm trying to write this down right now. Love it, thank it, bring it. This is my new mantra for the day. I love it so much. And here we are. We're talking about a year into a global pandemic at the time of this call, and I'm wondering how, these days we're thinking we may have mastered control in our own lives, but we're in a situation that has become what I call a category 5, right? That's my journey and story, but everybody's in the hurricane of this global pandemic. How does that change, or how have you integrated the current situation with what you talk about in your processes and teachings?
Oh, it's been, 2020, unprecedented year. And for us that I have today in the business, in my coaching and in the programming that I produce, I doubled down and leveled up and thought, how can I use myself, my voice, my presence, my word, my work to help even more people on a much greater scale? And so I shifted things within the company, and I'm doing less and less private coaching and more group coaching, and put together a system so that you can literally create a have-it-all life using a 2-part approach, both the tactical, logical, practical strategy sides, along with the metaphysical mindset and manifestation, law of attraction side, because it's, I just see how fast things can change, first of all, in my own life and for my clients' lives when you integrate those two things together. And so by being able to put it into a process where you can just follow the 8-step blueprint to create anything, doesn't matter what it is, if it's love, if it's money, if it's career, if it's health, whatever it is, by using that to empower yourself. Now, here's the key, Christine. It's everything that's happening in the outside world. It's happening to so many people, and they're viewing it as a negative. Now, here's the thing. It's a choice to choose this as an opportunity. This is an opportunity to make changes in your life. It's been this, massive wake-up call for us to say, am I really happy? I mean, life could just end today. And if this was the end, would I feel like I've lived, a fulfilling life? And so the